All right, apes, welcome. In this video, we're going to finish off Act 4. So we're going to read Scene 6 and Scene 7. This is a longer set of scenes. We're going to try and do it as quick as possible, so let's just get right into it. So we have Gloucester and Edgar. Remember, Edgar's still dressed as poor Tom, but he has newer clothes than he did before because that old man gave him some of his best apparel. And so they are in Dover now. Remember, Gloucester wanted to go to that hill so he could jump off. So, when shall I come to the top of the same hill? You do climb it now. Look how we labor. Methinks the ground is even. Horrible steep. Hark, do you hear the sea? No, truly. Why then your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish. So may it indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakest in better phrase and matter than thou didst. So now, a couple things we have to explain. They are walking on even ground. They're not even anywhere close to a hill. Edgar is tricking his father, right? He doesn't want his father to jump off a cliff and to commit suicide, so he's going to pretend so that Gloucester thinks he did it, right? He has a plan. Also, you'll notice Gloucester says, you're not speaking like you used to. You're not speaking like poor Tom, because Edgar's given up the whole pretending thing and being disguised. He doesn't care anymore. So he's speaking normally. And he says, no, we're walking up this really steep hill. You just don't get it because you're blind, man. And he's like, don't you hear the sea? And Gloucester's like, no, I don't hear the sea at all. Well, it's because you're blind. You can't hear the sea when you're blind. Edgar, you are much deceived, and nothing am I changed but in my garments. Methinks you are better spoken. Come on, sir, here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crowds and coughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire, dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yon tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock a buoy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebble chafes cannot be heard so high. I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong. So he says, all right, here you are. We're at the edge of the cliff. Oh, man, it's so high up. I can't look over the edge because it makes me dizzy, and I'm worried that I'm going to fall over. Oh, look down there. There's fishermen down on the beach, and they look like mice. They're so far down. So he's tricking him, right? They're not really there. Set me where you stand. Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all the beneath the moon, I would not leap upright. Let go my hand. Here, friends, another purse. In it a jewel well worth a poor man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper it with thee. He gives Edgar a purse. He says, I'm paying you again. Go thou further off. Bid me farewell, and let me hear thee going. So now it says Edgar walking away, but it's not really. He's like, but he's not moving. He's not going anywhere, right? And he goes, how fare you well, good sir? So he makes it sound like his voice is far away. With all my heart. Now Edgar says this where Gloucester can't hear. Why do I trifle thus with his despair? Is it done to cure it? He asks himself the question, why am I tricking my father? Am I trying to fix him? Like, what's going on here? Gloucester kneels down. Oh, you mighty gods! This world I do renounce, and in your sights shake patiently with great affliction off. If I would bear it longer and not fall to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my stuffed and loathed part of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh bless him. Now fellow, fare thee well. And he falls forward, right? Just, and falls on his face. Now Edgar comes rushing to his side. He says, gone, sir, farewell. And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been there where he thought, by this had not thoughts been past, right? That was on his own. Now he says, alive or dead, ho you, sir, friend, hear you, speak, sir, speak. What might he pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir? Away and let me die. Hast thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, air, so many fathom down precipitating, thou dost shiver like an egg, but thou dost breathe, hath heavy substance, bleedest not, speakest, art sound. 10 masses, each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle, speak yet again. So Edgar rushes to his side, and now he pretends to be a guy at the bottom of the cliff, the imaginary cliff that he's not even anywhere near. And he says, oh my gosh, you fell down, but you fell slowly like a feather, and now you're safe on the other side. Have I fallen or no? From the dread summit of this chalky bourne, look up a height. The shrill gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up. He says, look, you were up there. It's so high. And Gloucester says, alack, I have no eyes. Ouch. Oof. Is wretchedness deprived that benefit to end itself by death? 'Twas yet some comfort when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will. Give me your arm. And he raises Gloucester up. So how is it? Feel up you your legs, you stand? Too well, too well. This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you? An unfortunate beggar. And he says, as I stood here below, methought my eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the enraged sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that thou clearest gods who make them honors of men's impossibilities have preserved thee. So he says, who was that guy next to you before you jumped? And he says, it was an unfortunate beggar. He says, no, that guy looked like the devil. He had 1,000 noses and he had horns. He looked like a fiend. The fiend is a demon. And so he's trying to trick him. No, the devil was trying to get you to jump. I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it do cry out itself, enough, enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took it for a man. Often 'twould say, the fiend, the fiend. He led me to that pace. Be patient, be free in patient thoughts. Now Lear comes in. Now remember, Lear is crazy. He is naked. He has a crown of weeds on his head. And so he's running around like a madman. But who comes here? The safer sense will ne'er accommodate his master thus. No, they cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself. Oh, thou side-piercing sight. Edgar's like, oh my gosh, Lear is naked. He's still naked. Nature's art above art in that respect. There's your press money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, look, a mouse. Peace, peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it. There's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on a giant. Bring up the brown bills. Oh, well-flown bird. In the clout, in the clout. Give the word. And Edgar goes, sweet marjoram. He's like, oh my gosh. Pass. Gloucester says, I know that voice. And Lear comes up to Gloucester. Now remember, they were old war buddies. Gloucester was his most loyal friend. And he was serving him any way he could. So he comes up to him. Ha! Goneril with the white beard? They flattered me like a dog and told me that I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there, to say aye and no to everything. And I said aye and no. 'Twas no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found 'em. There I smelt 'em out. Go to. They are not men, oh, their words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I am no agu proof. We're going to highlight this. So he is mad, but he is actually saying some things that make sense. He's mad because of all the things he's gone through, right? And he says, my beard was not as white as it is now after all I've gone through. Now I have really aged in the last couple days. The trick of the voice I do remember well. Is it not the king? Aye, every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die. Die for adultery? No. The wren goes to it, and the small gilded fly does lecher in my sight. Let copulation thrive, for Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got tween the lawful sheets. So he says, who cares about all these laws that we have? And specifically the law of adultery. You're not supposed to sleep with another person's spouse. But he says, who cares anymore? He says, Edmund was way better son than Edgar was, and Gloucester got to have way more fun making Edmund than he did when he made Edgar, right? We all should just do what we want. We're all animals. To the luxury pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. Behold yon simpering dame, whose face between her forks presages snow, that minces virtue and does shake the head to hear of pleasure's name. The filchu nor the soiled horses goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist they are censures, though women all above. But to the girdle, to the gods inherit beneath is all the fiends. Now, we are going to highlight a little bit. He's talking about women and how women are all awful. And you think that you've married this wonderful, virtuous person, but then they turn out to be a demon later on. There's hell, there's darkness, there's the sulfurous pit, burning, scalding stench, consumption. Fie, 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 pa, pa. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee. Gloucester, right? He's come to his king again, and he wants to once again prove his loyalty. Oh, let me kiss that hand. And Lear says, let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality. That is one of my favorite lines in the entire play. Not necessarily a famous one, but a really good one. So he says, no, don't kiss my hand. Don't worship me as your king. Don't prove your loyalty, because my whole being smells of mortality. And he's talking about death, right? I smell of death. And don't we all smell of death? We all are cursed as human beings to know that we will one day die, and that this is just a temporary space where we live, and that we all smell of mortality. We are dying every day. And Lear is finally coming to that realization in his madness that I will at one time die, and I need to give up the things of this earth. Who cares? After I'm gone, what will it matter? O ruined piece of nature, this great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me? I remember thine eyes well enough. Ouch, that is mean. Oh, man. Dost thou squinny at me? No, do thy worst, blind Cupid, I'll not love. Read thou this challenge, mark but the penning of it. Were all thy letters suns, I could not see. And Edgar says this aside, I would not take this from report. It is, and my heart breaks at it. He says, I would love to stop this reunion because it hurts me to watch these two great men in their fallen state interacting with each other, but I can't do it. They need to do this. Read, what with the case of eyes, right? Once again, he's making fun of the fact that he can't see. Oh ho, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how this world goes. I see it feelingly. What, art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yon justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hearken thine ear. Change places and handy-dandy with which is the justice, which is the thief. Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar? Aye, sir. And the creature ran from the cur. Where art thou, mightest behold the great image of authority a dogs obeyed in office? Thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thou hotly lusts to her in that kind for which thou whippest her. The urser hangs the cozener. Through tattered clothes small vices do appear. Robes and furried gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold, and with strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Arm it in rags, a pygmy's straw does pierce it. None does offend, none, I say none. I'll able 'em. Take that of me, my friend, who has the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to see the things thou dost not. Now. Pull off my boots. Harder so. Edgar, aside again, oh, matter and impertinency mixed, reason and madness. If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough, thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest the first time that we smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee, Mark. Now, we're going to highlight this. This is a really good line and really, really savvy, right? Shakespeare is dealing with this idea of death here. All right, let's do it again. There we go. So he says, when we come to be born, we smell the air and we wail and cry. And the reason is because we know at that instant that we can die. We smell the air and then it's all over from there. You start your dying process on day one. Gloucester, alack, alack the day. When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. This is one of the famous lines of Lear. Right? Another reason we cry is when we are born, we realize, oh man, I'm in this stage of fools. I am a fool just like everybody else. There's nothing I can do. It's only going to get worse from here. 'Tis a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horse with felt. I'll put it in proof. And when I have stolen upon these son-in-laws, then kill, 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 kill. All right, enter a gentleman with some attendants. He notices Lear. Oh, here he is, to an attendant. Lay hand upon him, sir, your most dear daughter. So these are some of the 100 knights that Cordelia sent after him. No rescue? What, a prisoner? I am even the natural fool of fortune. Use me well, you shall have ransom. Let me have surgeons. I am cut to the brains. Now, in this field where they are, Lear starts running away from the people that are trying to catch him. He's naked. He has this crown of weed on. He's running circles. And I just imagine the music like, and he's just running circles around and they're trying to, he's pretty spry for an old guy, right? What? You shall have anything. No seconds, all myself? Why? This would make a man assault. He's dodging back and forth. To use his eyes for garden water parts. Ah, and laying autumn's dust, I will die bravely like a smug bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, come. I am a king. Masters, you know not that. Know you that? You are a royal one, and we obey you. The gentleman's like, come on. What's wrong with you? And then there's life in it. Come and you get it. You shall get it by running. Sa, 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 sa. And he runs off, and all the people are like running after him. So then the gentleman comes up. A sight most pitiful in the meanest wretch. Past speaking of in a king, thou hast a daughter who redeems nature from the general curse which twain have brought her to. Hail, gentle sir. Sir, speed you what your will. Do you hear aught of a battle toward? Most sure and vulgar, everyone hears that, which can distinguish sound. But by your favor, how near's the other army? Near and on speedy foot, the main descry stands out on the hourly thought. I thank you, sir, that's all. Though that the queen on special causes here, her army is moved on. I thank you, sir. So then gentleman exits. You ever, gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not the worser spirit tempt me again to die before you please. Well, pray you, father. Now, good sir, what are you? A most poor man, most tame to fortune blows, who by the art of known and feeling sorrows impregnant to good pity, give me your hand, I'll lead you to some bidding. And he takes Gloucester's hand. He says, I'm going to take you to a safe place so that we can wait out this battle. I don't know why Edgar doesn't just reveal himself at this point. I guess because he wants it to be more dramatic later on. Shakespeare does, but it just seems silly to not reveal yourself at this moment. Hearty thanks, the bounty and the benison of heaven to boot and boot. Now enter Oswald. Remember, Oswald was told by Regan if he could find Gloucester and kill him, he would get a really good reward. So he draws his sword. Shing! All right, so Edgar comes in and draws his sword. A proclaimed prize, most happy. That eyeless head of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Thou old unhappy traitor, briefly thyself remember. The sword is out that must destroy thee. Now let thy friendly hand put strength to it. Now Edgar steps between Gloucester and Oswald. And he's like, no! You're not going to get my father. Oswald says, wherefore, bold peasant? Darest thou support a published traitor? Hence, let that infection of this fortune take like hold on thee. Let go his arm. She'll not let go, sir, without further occasion. Let go, slave, thou diest. We need a hero. Good gentlemen, go your gate and let poor folk pass. And chud ha been swaggered out of my life. 'Twould not have been so long as 'tis a fortnight. Nay, come, not near the old man. Keep out, chief Borgie, or is try whether 'tis Cossard or my ballow to be harder. She'll be plain with you. Out, dunghill! She'll pick your teeth, sir. No matter for your boys. Ching, 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 ching. They're fighting. Ah, ching, 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 ching. And he stabs Oswald. Ah! Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body and give the letters which thou findest about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the English party. Oh, untimely death! Death! Oops. Stop. All right. Yeah! That was awesome. All right. So that was Edgar's moment, right? He's like, yes, so awesome. Finally, Oswald dies. We hate that guy. Now, we do need to highlight right here and give letters to Edmund of Gloucester, right? So this is one of those convenient plot devices where all of a sudden, Shakespeare loves to do this at the end of his plays. All of a sudden, we have all this convenient plot device to fix everything. Now, these are the letters that were given to him by Goneril and Regan. And how convenient is it that now he's dead, and now we have these letters to fix the problems later on. I know thee well, a serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress as badness would desire. What, is he dead? Because Gloucester's blind. He's like, what just happened? I heard music. Sit you down, father, rest you. Let's see these pockets. The letters he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I am only sorrow he had no other deathman. Let us see. So he opens the letter. Leave, gentle waxen manners, blame us not. To know our enemies' minds, we rip their hearts. These papers is more lawful, because it's not right to look through people's mail. So it says, reads the letter. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. This letter is from Goneril and to Edmund. And she says, him is her husband, right? You have many opportunities to kill him. If your will want not time and place will be fruitfully offered, there is nothing done if he return the conqueror. Then I am the prisoner, and his bed my jail from the loathed warmth whereof deliver me and supply the place for your labor. Gross. So she says, if you would kill my husband, I'll marry you and I'll have your babies. Sounds good. And then she says, your wife, or so I would say, your affectionate service. But in there she says wife, so I would say. I can just imagine Goneril. She's so evil, but I can imagine her sitting there going, Goneril Gloucester, and writing down in cursive and writing it all these different times to see how it looks. Goneril Gloucester. Oh, I like the way that looks. Oh, indistinguished space for woman's will. A plot upon her virtuous husband's life in the exchange of my brother. Here in the sands, thee I'll rake up the most unsanctified of murderous lechers, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper strike the side of the death practiced duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell. So, I don't know why Gloucester doesn't get, because he just said, Goneril's going after my brother. He just announced that he's Edgar. The king is mad, how stiff is my vile senses that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better I were distract, so should my thoughts be severed from my griefs and woes by my wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves. Then we hear drums. Far off, drums off. Far off, methinks, I hear the beaten drum. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend. So I'm going to go take you somewhere so you don't have to deal with this battle. Now, Last scene of Act 4. I know this has been long, but let's finish this up. So Cordelia comes in, Kent is in disguise, and then there's a doctor. "Oh, thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My will be too short, and every measure fail me." So she knows that it's Kent. "To be acknowledged, madam, is o'erpaid. All my reports go with modest truth, no more, no clipped, but so. Be better suited. These weeds are memories of those worser hours. I prithee, put them off." So she says, Kent, take off your disguise and be Kent now. You don't need to be in disguise anymore. "Pardon, madam, yet to be known shortens my made intent. My boon, I make it that you will know me not till time and I think meet." So he says, "Not yet. I can't yet take off my disguise." "Then be it so, my good lord." And then she turns to the doctor. "How does the king?" "Madam, sleep still. Oh, you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature, the untuned and jarring senses, oh, wind up of this child-changed father. So please your majesty that we may wake the king. He hath slept long. Be governed by your knowledge and proceed and the sway of your own will. Is he arrayed? Now enter Lear with a chair." They woke him up, and he's carried by servants, right, on the chair. "Aye, madam, in the heaviness of sleep we put fresh garments on him, because he is naked." "Good deal, good deal. Be by, good madam, when we do awake him, I doubt not of his temperance." So he's still sleeping in the chair. "Very well." So they play some music. "Please you draw near, louder the music there." And she kisses Lear on the cheek. "Oh, my dear father, restoration hang thy medicine on my lips, and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my two sisters have in thy reverence made." So this is the reunion between Lear and the daughter that he kicked out. "Kind and dear princess, had you not been their father, these white flakes did challenge pity of them. Was this a face to be opposed against the jarring winds, to stand against the deep dread bolted thunder in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick cross lightning? To watch poor Perudu with his thin helm, mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, would have stood that night against my fire. And wast thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with swine and rogues forlorn in short and musty straw? Alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life and wits at once had not concluded all." So she says, "I can't believe that you're still alive after everything you've endured." "He wakes. Speak to him." "Madam, do you? 'Tis fittest." "How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?" You do me wrong to take me out of the grave. Thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound upon a wheel of fire that mine own tears do scald like molten lead." So when he wakes up, he looks up into the eyes of his daughter and he recognizes her and he says, "Oh, why did you take me out of death? You should have just allowed me to die because I am bound by my grief. It hurts too much. Sir, do you know me? You are a spirit, I know. Where did you die? Still, far wide. He's scarce awake. Let him alone a while. Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight, I am mightily abused. I should even die with pity. To see another thus, I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see, I feel this pinprick. I would I were assured of my condition. I look upon me, sir, and hold your hand in benediction o'er me. No, sir, you must not kneel." So he kneels down in front of her. This is a very symbolic thing. He's asking forgiveness of his daughter. "Pray, do not mock. I am a very foolish, fond old man." We're going to highlight in green. Oh, man. All right, let's try again. Highlight in green. Do it. All right. "Fourscore and upward, not an hour more nor less. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. You think? Methinks I should know you and know this man, yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is, and all the skill I have remembered not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia." And Cordelia starts crying. "And so I am. Be your tears wet? Yes, faith, I pray, weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause, they have not. So we're going to highlight in green. He's like, no, don't cry. If you want to kill me, give me some poison and I'll just take it. I know that I wronged you and I should have listened to you the entire time. You were right. And your sisters were awful. She says, no cause, no cause. So she says, I have no cause to kill you. Right there, she forgives her father of everything he's done. Everything is fixed. Am I in France? In your own kingdom, sir. Do not abuse me. Be comforted, good madam. The great rage you see is killed in him, and yet it is danger to make him even o'erthink the time he has lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more, till further settling. Will it please your highness walk? You must bear with me. Pray you now, forget and forgive. I am old and foolish. So he cannot believe that his daughter has forgiven him because he is not that kind of man. He's not someone who forgives people of their wrongs. He just kills people. So then they exit, and King Kent and the gentleman remain. Holds it true, sir, that the Duke of Cornwall was so slain? So they're asking about the Duke of Cornwall, right? Most certain, sir. Who is the conductor of his people? As 'tis said, the bastard son of Gloucester. So who is leading Cornwall's army? It's Edmund. They say Edgar, his banished son, is with the Earl of Kent in Germany. So now there's these rumors, right? They say that Edgar left and he's in Germany with Kent. Report is changeable. 'Tis time to look about. The powers of the kingdom approach apace. So we're going to highlight that. The arbitrament is like to be bloody. Fare you well, sir. So Kent says, we all need to prepare because tomorrow there's going to be a battle between all the powers that are here. France, Cornwall, and Albany, right? Edmund's leading Cornwall's army. And the gentleman says the battle tomorrow is going to be super bloody because this is a tragedy and that's how it has to be. My point and period will be thoroughly wrought or well or ill as this day's battles fought. Okay. So that is the end of Act 4. Hopefully you liked it. And now we will finish up the play in the next couple videos. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.